Do you spend hours practicing jazz chords only to feel lost when you try to play a song? I wasted months practicing inversions before I found these 3 simple exercises that finally helped me turn the chord grips into real music. And these same exercises helped hundreds of my students use jazz chords in real songs as well. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the 3 exercises so that you can finally make your chords sound like real jazz in any song. Here's the biggest mistake most jazz beginners make. They get stuck practicing complicated chord shapes that are hard to play and forget the real goal is to make music, as Joe Pass described it.
The object in playing guitar, solo, melody is to make music and not to make hard work.
So let's keep it simple. Focus on easy musical chords so that you can actually play songs, not just practice your finger gymnastics. The best place to start is with shell voicings. These are super simple 3-note versions of jazz chords, and as you will see, they will also help you with rhythm and later adding extensions and color to your playing. Shell voicings are 3-note versions of the 7th chords that split the guitar neck into 3 sets of 2 strings. You have 2 low strings for the bass note, middle strings for the chord, and then the voicings leave room for adding melody or extensions on the top string set. For each chord you have 2 variations. Let's start with C major 7. The root is either on the 5th string or on the 6th string. To really get these under your fingers, practice all the chords in a scale, sort of the family of chords called diatonic chords, which really just means the chords that are naturally found in that scale. Now again, you have 2 versions, one with the root on the 5th string, and one with the root on the 6th string, where I'm now starting with the F major 7, so the chord that's on the 4th note of the scale. Shell voicings are incredibly powerful. They'll help you develop rhythm and are great for adding chords under a melody, what jazz players call chord melody. Now let's put it into music. First, try the chords on a real song, like Autumn Leaves. Just play the basic chords and listen to how they naturally flow together. You'll start to feel the time and the form of the song, not just learn the grips. And this is how you turn practice into music. And once you've got these down, you're ready for the next step, adding rhythm. Let's get into that. Shell voicings aren't just easy, they're your secret weapon for unlocking great rhythm on guitar. Now, because the chords are simple and comfortable, you're free to focus on what really makes jazz sound alive, rhythm. So here's a 3-step process to help you develop your rhythm chops using real music, not just getting stuck with exercises. Take a short, simple 1-bar pattern. To demonstrate this, I'm using the classic Charleston rhythm, which I'm sure you recognize when you hear it, even if you don't know the name. It should feel easy to play that rhythm, so try playing it with a metronome using just a single chord. Once you're comfortable, take that rhythm and play it through a song. Here's how the first 4 bars of Autumn Leaves might sound. When you can play the pattern easily through the song, then start to mix it up. Play the song again, but now try to use a comfortable tempo and this time create small variations with how you play the chords. Something like this. Here I'm splitting the bass and the chord, and that sort of adds an extra note, but you can also just play the chord one more time and add to the rhythm. Or mix those 2 concepts. Experiment with these different variations on all the chords in the song, improvise and see what you like. That will give you something like this next example, and after that I'm gonna show you how to connect your patterns so that your comping never sounds random. But you also want to connect all the variations so it becomes a story, not just fragments next to each other. To do that, take your rhythm pattern and use it as a call, then answer it with a musical response. And this call-response approach helps you build phrases that flow together, making your comping sound more conversational and less mechanical. And here's the real magic. By practicing rhythm this way inside real songs, you're not just learning patterns, you're actually building a rock-solid foundation for your jazz playing. You're connecting with the song, the harmony and the groove all at once, and this is way more powerful than just running through exercises. Let me show you why. Let's be honest, if you're just running through chord exercises and not actually playing songs, you're kind of missing the point. So the surprising strategy here is to get bored with your own playing, as Peter Bernstein explains.
So try to play chorus after chorus of comping a tune, because the main thing is that you're going to get bored of playing the same chords very quickly and find some other stuff. That's the best motivation, is boredom.
It is simple. Take a song that you already know, put on the metronome and start comping that song. At first, it will feel repetitive, but that's also the magic here, because the boredom is what pushes you to get creative, discover new ways of playing the chords and break out of the usual rhythmical patterns. And why is this so powerful? Now, when you do this, you start to really understand the song and its harmony. You're practicing all the stuff that's not just a 2-5-1. And you also hear how the chords fit in the form and in the key. This is the stuff that you would never learn if you're just practicing exercises or comping a repeating 2-5-1 or turnaround. There is a lot more going on in jazz harmony than just 2-5-1s. Even if the point is that you get bored with your playing, you don't want to underestimate just how much fun it actually is. You can do a lot with a song just by comping and improvising through the chords. If you're using shell voicings, you're a bit limited in how much color and melody you can add to your chords. But the good news is, you can easily open things up. Here's a simple step-by-step method to show you how. It's very important to have a simple foundation to start from, as Joe Pass says.
So when you learn a song, you must learn the song really simple.
The good news is that you already have that with the shell voicings. For example, here are the basic shell voicings for the first 4 bars of Autumn Leaves. With what you've learned earlier, you can already create solid comping just by adding some rhythmic variation and splitting the chord and the bass. Now let's open things up. You can split the chord and play it without the root note. This is called a rootless chord, and it's what I was already doing in the last example. Now the cool part is that once you're playing rootless voicings, it's so much easier to add extra notes and create more color and melody to your comping. Let's start by adding notes on the B string. So here's a practical way to do it for the first 4 chords, and notice that I keep it simple for the last 2 chords. B flat major 7 and E flat major 7. It's practical to leave out the E flat as a melody note because it just makes everything easier. I'm really just using basic scale notes on top of each chord, keeping it easy to play and making sure that it sounds good. If it's comfortable, you'll be able to improvise with the chords and the variations, and that is really the main goal here. Now, rootless voicings are perfect when you're playing with a band and want to stay out of the bass player's way. So here's how that sounds. But you don't have to leave the root out. You can also mix in the root both as a bass note or as a part of the entire chord. And this gets you into chord solo and chord melody territory, similar to how Joe Pass often played as a soloist or behind Ella Fitzgerald. Check it out. And speaking of Joe Pass, here's another classic trick that he uses that works perfectly with these simple 3-note shell voicings, combining chords with a walking bass line. And because the chords are so compact, this becomes so much easier, and you have already worked on splitting the chord and the bass, so that part is also easy. But it's not only with chords that you can waste time on exercises. That can happen with soloing as well. And if you want to know how Wes Montgomery practiced and discover which exercises to work on and which ones you want to avoid, then check out this video, which also shows you how to turn it all into music using Autumn Leaves. Check it out, learn jazz, make music.